In this video, I want to show you how to turn on an LED using a switch, a resistor, and an LED connected to a 5-volt power supply. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is get the power supply, and if you can look on here, essentially all you need to do is basically turn on the power, and then you'll see that there's a voltage knob. One says coarse, one says fine, and so we want to adjust the voltage and then measure it to make sure that it's accurate. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to turn on the power down here. So that's going to turn the power on, and I've already adjusted it to 5 volts. Okay, and you'll see the CV light is on for constant voltage, and you can see that that's about halfway between 0 and 10, which is what 5 is, halfway between 0 and 10. So let's go ahead and measure that and make sure that we get the correct voltage. So we're going to use a handheld multimeter that you can see here. I think you can see that pretty well, and you can see that the knob is actually set over here. If we look, see how to do this here. Basically, the knob is set up here to 20-volt range. So you see the V with the 2 solid lines, and you see the knob is set on 20. Now we can't go down to 2 because 2 will be too small. We could go up to 200, but there's really no reason to. We're measuring a 5-volt signal, so 20 is the best option for us. So the way we measure that is we're going to take our multimeter. Okay, we've got our red and black probe leads here, and what I'm going to do is place the probes into the 2 terminals on the power supply. Let's see if we can see that. May have to adjust here. I think you can see that now. So basically you're just taking your 2 probes and inserting them into the meter, okay? And so once we do that, okay, then we just read the value that's on the meter. So you can see we're at 5.21 about volts. So that's pretty good. But what we can do is we can use this fine adjustment to bring it down a little bit. So now you can see we're about 4.98, 4.99 volts. So that is a very close value to 5. So I am happy with that value, and so that's what we're going to use for our power supply. Alright, so what we want to do now is look at our circuit here. Okay, now what you see there is you see basically we're going to bring in power, this red lead here and this black lead. Okay, we're going to bring the power in here, and if you notice there's a short red wire. that's connected to the same rail as the long red wire. So that's going to bring in 5 volts to one side of the switch. The other side of the switch, which is 2 columns over, is connected to a resistor, and then the resistor is connected to the anode of the LED, and then the other side of the LED, the cathode, is connected to the short black wire, and that is going to be the return path for the current to the power supply. Okay, so this is our circuit that we want to basically test. Okay, and so what we want to do is take the leads. Okay, we've got these little clips here. These clips that are connected to the power supply. And all you need to do is clip on these leads, and we're going to use red to red and black to black to connect our power. Okay. Right, so hopefully you can see that. Okay. I've got the black, if you look down here, the black is clipped onto the black wire, the red is clipped onto the red wire. Okay, so that's bringing power into the rails over here. Okay, it's bringing power in. All right, but you notice that the light is not turned on. The LED is not shining, and the reason it's not shining is because the switch is not pressed. Okay, and so what we're going to need to do is close the switch. Okay, and you can see that the light turns on. So that's pretty cool. And so one thing we can do is basically measure the voltage. Okay, so we go back to our multimeter. Right, so we go back to our multimeter, and we're going to leave it on the 20 volt range because we're going to be measuring voltages that are a fraction of 5 volts. Okay, and so what we want to do is take these probe leads that we are going to measure the voltage and place them across the LED and across the resistor while we have the switch closed. And that's going to prove to be a little tricky because I only have 2 hands. So we'll see if we can get it to work. Okay, and so basically I've got power, connected here to the circuit. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is basically close the switch, press the switch while I'm measuring the voltage across the resistor. So let me see if I can angle this down. This might be hard to see. Let's see if I can set this up like so. It looks like we can see the output of the meter. All right, and so I am going to press down the switch, and while I'm holding that closed, I'm going to measure the voltage across the resistor and across the LED. Okay. And unfortunately, I don't think you'll be able to see that part. So I'll just show the meter. Okay. And so I'm going to take my meter leads again. I'm going to place them. Across the resistor and then across the LED, and we'll see what the voltage says. Okay. All right. So we've got our meter over here. So let me place the leads on the resistor and hold down the switch. And let's see. Okay, so looks like we've got 2.19. That's the voltage across the resistor. 2.19. All right, and then if I switch over to the LED and measure the voltage there, we've got 2.77. Okay, so 2.19 and 2.77. And if you were to add those two numbers together, you should get a value very close to 5 volts. Okay, and so again, just to demonstrate, okay, I've got power connected to my circuit here. Okay, and if I press down, let's see, let's go this way. Light comes on, light comes off. Light comes on, light goes off. Right. So that's basically all I wanted to do in this video is just kind of show you a really basic, DC power supply, how to set the voltage, and how to use the handheld multimeter to measure voltage, and then connect a simple circuit with a resistor and a LED and a switch, and be able to turn the LED on and off and measure the voltage across the resistor and the LED. Alright, that'll be all for now.